When I first started using AI to make thumbnails, it gave me absolutely crazy results like these ones. But then I discovered a way to create high quality thumbnails just like these ones that only take a few minutes to make. So let me show you how I do it and the tools I use so that way you can make your own today. Now, the tool I've been using to make these thumbnails is a tool called vidIQ, which I'm sure most of you have heard of if you're a YouTuber, as vidIQ has a lot of features built in to help you grow your YouTube channel and do research and stuff like that. But they also allow you to make thumbnails. And if you haven't signed up for vidIQ yet, they do have a completely free plan that you can join. It will allow you to generate a few thumbnails on that free plan. Otherwise, I am an affiliate for vidIQ, and you can actually join vidIQ for just $1 and get access to their paid plan, which will allow you to generate hundreds of thumbnails, way more thumbnails than you probably actually need. Plus, on the paid plan, you're gonna get access to all of vidIQ's features to help you grow your YouTube channel, so definitely worth it to join for $1. Now, step number one is to find a format for your thumbnail. And what I mean by format is you like the layout of the thumbnail. So for example, here is a thumbnail I really like the layout of. We've got person off to the side, we've got text with a logo, and then there's some graphics down here at the bottom. Like overall, I think that's a really nice, clean layout that someone can quickly look at and understand the video. And what you also want to do is start building a collection of thumbnails that you like. So as you're browsing YouTube, start creating a YouTube playlist of videos where you like the thumbnail formats that you'll be able to go back to in reference. And what we can actually do with vidIQ, I can click on this video here, and off to the right, vidIQ is actually going to give us stats about the video. It's going to show us how many views he's gotten over time and whether this is a video that's taking off and maybe something we want to cover later. But what's more relevant to us is we can go down here and we can actually click on this thumbnail and pull this up, and we can actually download his thumbnail onto our computer. And then what we can do is we can hop over to vidIQ, and I'm under their thumbnail tool option here, which is where you can create thumbnails inside of vidIQ. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the attach button here, and I'm going to attach his thumbnail to this as a reference guide. And so instead of just letting AI create random stuff that's unorganized, we're giving it a base for it to build off of. Next, you're gonna wanna add a photo of yourself. Now, I personally will set up my camera or my phone, and I'll take photos of myself and I will pose for thumbnails. I actually have one of those photos here. So I've got this one here. I've also got another where I'm pointing to the side. I'm gonna upload that. So as you can see, here's me just kind of pointing off to the side and smiling. Like it's a really nice photo I took with good lighting. And I'm gonna click, and that one is added down here as well. And that's gonna add us to the thumbnail. And now what we wanna do, step number 3 here, is to actually build our thumbnail. So the first thing I like to type is to just let the AI know what this video is about, so it has that information. This is a video about how to grow faster on YouTube. Now I'm going to give it directions on what to change. Change the white text to quotation mark grow, and make the logo to the right of it a YouTube logo. Change the orange text to faster, and let's just see what it creates here. And I'm gonna click generate. And here's actually what it gave us. This is actually pretty good. Grow, YouTube logo, faster. It did leave some space here if I wanna add a graphic in or anything like that. And if I want to, I can click on this and I can edit this further. I can add text, I can add stickers, I can add images. Now I will be honest, we got kind of lucky here. Like this turned out actually pretty good, which is not always the case when you're making AI thumbnails. Sometimes you do one like this one down here. If you look at my face, this looks very uncanny valley. Like that sometimes happens. And so one of the keys with using an AI tool to make thumbnails is you make multiple generations. You never just make one. You want to make 5 or 10. So we're not even going to change our prompt at all. We're just going to click generate again. Spend another 22 credits here again. And if you get the dollar plan, you got thousands and thousands of credits. Take a look at this one. This one, it actually added these orange glows behind it, which mind you, isn't in the original. The AI took inspiration from that format. And then also look what it added here. It added YouTube Studio and showing like 10,000 plus subscriber count. We have growth here with views. Like that's all additional content I even tell it to do. And that one wasn't in the last one. Let's run it again. Let's see what else comes our way. We can send another prompt here, but you can see the prompts were exactly identical and these two thumbnails are completely different. So you really want to use a lot of generations here so that way you can really see what it creates and find one that's going to work for you. Here's another one it did. This time it did a blue background, and it's got, this looks like more Claude related stuff or just website stuff. Like, I don't even know what this all is. And this is definitely Uncanny Valley. And I actually did this thumbnail a while back just to show you if I scroll back here. So I made some other ones here where it's like grow faster. And these were all the different generations it came out with. But let me show you another secret that allows you to utilize something, because maybe you really like this. You really like that it says grow faster. You like the YouTube stuff here, but you just don't like how it kind of makes your face look a little different. Well, here's what I've done. What you can do is you can go down to describe your thumbnail edits and just say remove the person and click send, and it'll actually remove you from the thumbnail, leaving all the fancy graphics and everything like that. And then all I have to do is head over to image here and click on this. Going to add my image of myself pointing. There we go. I'm going to click remove background down here, so it knocks out the background from my thumbnail or my picture, whatever you want to say. Perfect. And then I can resize this, put myself over here. Boom, thumbnail done. And now I don't have the uncanny valleyness because I'm just using one of my actual photos, having vidIQ remove the background and adding it to the cool graphic that it already made. Now, I do think it's really important to talk about the ethics of this, because I don't like anyone just ripping off someone else's thumbnail, especially if they're in the exact same niche. So I do want to share some thoughts I had around this and kind of the way I approach things. Because when I go and I grab someone's thumbnail and take inspiration from it, I like to make sure it's in a completely different niche. So this guy's making videos on making websites with Claude Code. My video is on a completely different topic. So I don't feel as bad as ours looking somewhat similar because we're attracting different audiences. I'm not touching his YouTube monetization revenue or taking views away from him. And also his thumbnail is simple enough where it's like, you know, no one's really copyrighted a person, some text, and some graphics down below. Like this, I feel is simple enough of a thumbnail where I don't feel as bad about it. However, let me give you an example of where it is kind of bad. This is a thumbnail someone made related to DaVinci Resolve, and here's one I was able to create with AI. Now, if you look at the backgrounds, these are almost identical backgrounds. It's also on DaVinci Resolve. In my opinion, I feel like this is a little too close for comfort, but that is okay because we can always have vidIQ change the background and make some adjustments. So if I go back here, this is where I made that original one. This is the original one it made for me. Didn't like the person, so I removed it, but then I didn't feel comfortable with the background. So I just told vidIQ to change the background to a DaVinci Resolve timeline, make it look more like a timeline, and it created this. This is literally a DaVinci Resolve timeline it added. This looks awesome, but I lost that nice blue background. So then I typed into here and I said, you know, add a blue transparent gradient where you can just barely see the timeline. And it created this, which is awesome. And then all I have to do is go over here to image again, add myself in here, remove background, increase the size, move myself over, and there. Now I have a thumbnail still related to DaVinci Resolve. It's still built off of someone else's thumbnail and took inspiration, made the layout for that. And now I have a thumbnail I am ready to use for my next DaVinci Resolve tutorial if I wanted to. And then sometimes the vidIQ tool will just kind of go off on its own and completely make different changes that are unrelated. So for example, I actually fed it this thumbnail right here and tried to have it create a thumbnail related to this. And it made this one. Which, mind you, I added myself. There was an uncanny value. But if you look, like, they completely changed the background. It added play buttons to the background, which I thought was really nice. I think it took some inspiration from my current background and added those in. But, like, these look completely different, and it generated that. So if you really give vidIQ enough generations, it will make different changes or alterations, or even as you are prompting here, I could always say, make the background a blue grid, we'll say, and have it go off that just to make some more changes, some more differences, so I'm not directly copying someone. All right, there's one. Let's change the orange text to red and make it say faster. So well, now we'll do white and red. We're still doing the layout. We now have the blue grid background. Let's see what it does here. All right, there we got a few more. This one I kind of like. This one's also really nice too. So I could always go in here, and I think it did a great job with my photo here. And if I really didn't like the red text, I could always type in here and have it change the text from red to white to whatever other color I want. But now this looks completely different than this. Like we have a completely different style here, but we gave it the base, the ground, and we worked off of that. And again, you can try this out for yourself. You go through my affiliate link, you'll sign up for $1, and you're gonna get thousands of credits to be able to make a lot of thumbnails. Try this out. AI has completely changed the way I make thumbnails, so I don't have to spend so many hours in Photoshop. I can have it create something really quick and then just make my own adjustments. And if you want more YouTube growth videos like this, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.